Strange World 2022. Strange World was supposed to be Disney's next big animated adventure. The studio spent around $180 million making it, but the movie only earned about $73 million worldwide. That left Disney staring at losses of well over $100 million. The film was directed by Don Hall, the same guy behind Big Hero 6 and Raya and the Last Dragon. Jake Gyllenhaal voiced the main character, Searcher Clade, in what was his first animated role for Disney. Originally, Disney hoped this movie would kick off a whole new franchise, but things started going wrong early. Test screenings reportedly didn't go well, and Disney quietly scaled back the marketing, which meant a lot of people barely even knew the movie existed. The film also featured Ethan Clade, Disney's first openly gay teenage character in a major animated movie.
Who is it?
It's no one. Diazzo. His name is Diazzo.
Diazzo, huh?
I really like him a lot. I just don't know how to tell him because I just get this.
Critics argued the movie focused heavily on modern political messaging, things like environmental warnings and anti-capitalist themes, while the actual story felt forgettable. And when audiences aren't excited about the story, big budgets can't save a movie. Lightyear 2022. Lightyear had a massive $200 million budget and earned about $226 million worldwide. That might sound decent at first, but once marketing and distribution costs were factored in, the movie reportedly lost around $100 million. The film starred Chris Evans as the voice of Buzz Lightyear, which immediately sparked controversy. For decades, Buzz had been voiced by Tim Allen in the Toy Story films, and Allen later said he was disappointed he wasn't even asked to return. The movie also became part of a larger controversy inside Pixar. A same-sex kiss between two female characters was reportedly removed during production, but later reinstated after internal protests from Pixar employees who pushed for stronger LGBTQ+ representation. When the film released, that scene drew significant attention. Several countries banned the movie entirely, leading to it being blocked in more than 14 international markets. Critics of the film argued the moment felt politically motivated and forced into the story, while some viewers said it didn't fit naturally with the nostalgic legacy many people associate with Buzz Lightyear and the Toy Story universe. The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, 2022 to 2023. This reboot of the Proud Family was released exclusively on Disney+, so there's no traditional box office data and the budget was never publicly revealed. The reboot brought back the original voice cast, including Kyla Pratt as Penny Proud and Tommy Davidson as Oscar Proud. Disney also added several high-profile guest stars like Lizzo, Lil Nas X, and Keke Palmer. From the start, the creators made it clear they wanted the revival to push boundaries and tackle modern social issues. The show openly addressed topics like systemic racism, reparations, and LGBTQ themes, which quickly sparked debate online. One episode in particular went viral when characters sang a line saying, "Slaves built this country."
This country was built on slavery, which means slaves built this country.
Which triggered heated arguments about how race and history should be presented in children's programming. Supporters praised the show for being bold, while critics felt the series leaned too heavily into political messaging. Some parents said it felt more like a lecture than entertainment, which added to the controversy surrounding the reboot. Neimona 2023. Neimona had an estimated $50 million budget, but since it was released exclusively on Netflix, there's no traditional box office revenue to measure its financial performance. The film had a long and messy production history. It was originally being developed by Blue Sky Studios, but the project was nearly scrapped when Disney shut the studio down in 2021 after acquiring Fox. Later, Annapurna Pictures stepped in and revived the movie for Netflix. The final version starred Chloe Grace Moretz as Neimona and Riz Ahmed as Ballister Boldheart. For many fans, the film's survival became symbolic of inclusive storytelling making it to the screen despite studio setbacks. The story includes a central same-sex romance between two knights and focuses on a gender-fluid, shape-shifting protagonist who challenges traditional societal expectations. While the film received strong critical praise for its animation and representation, some viewers felt the messaging was too on the nose, arguing it sometimes distracted from the pacing and overall storytelling. Elemental 2023. Elemental had a massive $200 million budget and ended up earning around $496 million at the box office. So, technically, it didn't flop financially. But I'm including it here because it sparked a lot of the same conversations as the other movies on this list. The film was directed by Peter Sohn, who said the story was heavily inspired by his Korean-American upbringing and his parents' experience as immigrants in the United States. At first, the movie actually struggled in theaters, opening with pretty disappointing numbers. But over time, it found a bigger audience and eventually became one of Disney's most successful releases on streaming. The story itself works as a clear metaphor for immigration, cultural tension, and social division, with different elements representing groups that struggle to live together in the same city. Some critics felt the metaphor was too obvious and heavy-handed, arguing it lacked the subtle, emotional storytelling Pixar is usually known for. Others said the messaging sometimes felt a bit preachy, which they felt took away from the charm Pixar movies typically have.
Anyway, that's my little sib Blake and her girlfriend Ghibli.
What's up?
They're students at Element City School for the Arts.
Yeah, following in Mom's wake.
Oh, nonsense. I'm just an architect.
Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, 2023. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken had a $70 million budget but only made about $46 million at the box office, leading to estimated losses of around $30 million. The movie featured a strong voice cast, including Toni Collette, Lana Condor, and Jane Fonda, with Fonda publicly supporting the film's feminist themes. Despite the talent involved and its colorful animation style, reports suggested the movie went through multiple script rewrites during production, which may have weakened the overall story. The film leaned heavily into feminist and anti-traditional themes, flipping the usual fairy tale formula. In this version, mermaids, typically portrayed as heroes in classic Disney stories, are reimagined as the villains, while the misunderstood Kraken becomes the hero.
You are the protector of all the ocean's creatures. It's up to you to stop the evil mermaids.
But people love mermaids.
The idea was meant to subvert traditional fairy tale expectations, but some critics and viewers felt the messaging overshadowed the storytelling, which may have contributed to the movie's weak box office performance. Arlo the Alligator Boy, 2021. Arlo the Alligator Boy was released exclusively on Netflix, so there's no box office data and the production budget was never publicly disclosed. The main character, Arlo, was voiced by Michael J. Woodard, a singer who first gained attention as a contestant on American Idol. Netflix originally hoped the movie would kick off a larger franchise, with plans for follow-up content and spin-offs. The film focused heavily on themes of identity, diversity, and acceptance.
I risked everything to be here. Now I don't even know who I am.
Because of you, I think that different is the best thing someone can be.
Featuring gender-fluid characters and non-traditional family dynamics as a central part of the story. While some critics praised the movie for its inclusive casting and representation, it struggled to connect with a broader audience. Many Netflix viewers simply ignored the film, and the streaming numbers reportedly weren't strong enough to justify expanding the franchise. As a result, the bigger plans Netflix had for the property quietly stalled after the initial release. Batwheels, 2022. Batwheels was released exclusively on HBO Max, so there's no traditional box office data and the production budget was never publicly disclosed. The animated preschool series featured some surprisingly big names in the voice cast, including Ethan Hawke as Batman and Gina Rodriguez as Catwoman. The show focused on a team of sentient bat vehicles that help protect Gotham alongside Batman and his allies. Warner Brothers hoped the series would turn into a strong kids brand with toys and merchandise, but reports suggested merchandising didn't perform as expected, partly due to parental pushback around the show's themes. The series introduced diversity elements aimed at younger audiences, including a non-binary vehicle character.
Which one's the real baby?
I am. No, I am.
While supporters saw it as a step toward more inclusive kids programming, some parents felt the messaging was too ideological for a preschool show, which reportedly affected viewer interest and overall engagement. And that wraps up our list. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which movie you think deserved its flop the most.